Who am I here with?
JP.
Do you have body dysmorphia?
I mean, yeah, I think the longer you're in the gym, you'd kind of acquire it.
What do you think personally as an individual has caused your body dysmorphia?
I don't know, I'd just say social media is a big factor. You see a bunch of people on gear and things, you see fake natties and stuff like that, and then you start comparing yourself to them.
Have you ever been sad about sort of what you see in the mirror when you're like, just training casually or whatever you're prepping for?
I wouldn't say I'm sad, I know I'm the best version of myself, and if I ever think I'm small or something, it just pushes me to work harder in the gym and get bigger.
With your own experience in the gym, what would you say is your best advice to people who are going through body dysmorphia as well, and what's your number one way to sort of combat it?
I would just say don't compare yourself to others, just compare yourself to yourself. You can only be the best version of yourself, so just...
Do you have body dysmorphia?
I feel like I do, actually. Yeah,
You feel like you do.
I feel like I do.
And so, what do you think personally as an individual has caused your body dysmorphia?
Social media is a big one.
Yeah.
I feel like social media is just makes my expectations way higher than they should be. Like, I was a skinny kid.
In the last year that you've kind of been training, have you ever looked in the mirror and seen your physique and kind of been sad about what you see?
I feel like I enjoy my progress, but, the thing that hurts people the most is when you compare to other people. So I try not to compare, and I feel like that keeps me going well.
Social media is kind of just such a big issue. What would you kind of give advice to, beginner lifters and people who have body dysmorphia, about how to prevent social media from aiding in that process?
Honestly, just try your best not to compare. Don't compare to people you see on social media. It's your body, and just don't compare. That's my biggest advice.
Do you have body dysmorphia?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Own perspective, what do you think has caused your body dysmorphia?
I'd say it's definitely self-inflicted. I mean, it's hard not to compare yourself to others, especially when you're in the gym and you see others that have things or doing things you can't do. It's hard not to compare, but it's not a healthy mentality to have, and it's hard because everyone has it. But the best thing I've learned to do is just kind of appreciate what I do have and what I can do. And, I only have one body. I mean, we're all in here doing it for one reason, for one reason or another. And you don't have someone else's body. You can't compare yourself all the time. So, I mean, I think it's hard not to, but I think you can appreciate what else somebody's doing, but without tearing yourself down at the same time.
Kind of in the last year, as you've been training or, trying to reach your goals, whatever it is, have you ever looked in the mirror and just kind of been sad about what you see?
You have expectations. You set expectations for yourself, and a lot of times they're really high, and it's hard to meet those expectations, but you can't always do that. You just got to appreciate, like you said. I mean, everyone has days to wake up really sad, and they don't like to see. There's other days you wake up, sometimes you're like, man, I look really good, and it's the same body every single time, and you're just a mental thing.
What do you think social media has kind of done to kind of progress your body dysmorphia?
Honestly, I think social media is a kind of a double-edged sword in that aspect, because there's a lot of times that, you see people that lie about, if they're natty or not, or they're editing and stuff like that. But at the same time, you get a lot of honest people giving genuine help. I mean, there's so many great creators out there that have inspired me, have inspired millions of other people to do things. So I think social media really is a double-edged sword, because it's a platform and it can be used for greed, just to get money, just to get your views, or you can use it to help people and to spread some awareness and some kindness. And I think it's always going to be a double-edged sword, but I try to be on the edge of kindness more than anything.
How do you think, personally, you can prevent body dysmorphia?
Honestly, I don't think there's any way to prevent body dysmorphia, but I think one thing you can do is, try to give someone a compliment every day. I mean, you never know what just saying hey man, dude, you're looking big today in that shirt, just will do for somebody. It can go the mile. I mean, a compliment from a stranger sometimes will make your whole entire day. So, just be out there, go out there, be kind to people. If you keep lifting other people up, people will start lifting you up, and just surround yourself with some positive and some kindness in your heart. That's all you need.
Do you have body dysmorphia?
Definitely. As soon as you start getting bigger and better, I feel like that's when I start to really show dang, do I really, my arms that big today, my chest that big today? I definitely have body dysmorphia for sure.
In your own individual perspective, what do you think has caused your body dysmorphia?
Probably social media, looking at other influencers or other bodybuilders for sure, because you can really only go based off that. But that's honestly it.
In this last year, whether you're trying to reach a certain goal or you're prepping or you're just training for in general, have you ever looked in the mirror and just kind of been upset with what you see?
I wouldn't say upset, but I would say habits and certain habits I let go. But I would never say I'm upset with how I'm coming. I usually come to the gym 5 days a week, so I only really get what I can get.
What do you think is the best way to sort of approach social media to not be a negative impact on body dysmorphia?
I would say pretty much like not comparing yourself to others, because you can only go about your progress and not what others. You don't know what they put into their body, and as well as like with the time they put in. So I would just say just put that time and effort towards your own like goals and crafts working out.
Ladies and gentlemen, who am I here with?
Tyler Gregurich.
And do you have body dysmorphia?
I would say honestly, yes, and even more so now that I do lift, because now I have the stigma behind like, do I even look like I lift? So I would say it's probably even worse than when I first started. So yeah.
What do you think personally has, like as an individual, has caused your own body dysmorphia?
Really always just wanting to be better and knowing that I could always do more. It's a process, but at the same time, I mean, when you look online and you see people that are 300 pounds lean, that would be nice. So I guess it kind of stems from social media, but more so like always knowing I could do more.
This past year, you're a bodybuilder who's trying to go pro. Yeah. So in this past year, whether you're prepping or you're just trying to reach your own goals, have you ever like looked in the mirror and kind of just been sad about what you see in general?
99% of the time, I do not like the person I see in the mirror, other than when I have a pump. But yeah, so I would say most of the time I'm more unpleased than I am pleased, but I guess that's what keeps me going every day and always wanting to do better.
What do you think we can do, just as regular lifters and stuff, to sort of combat like comparing yourself to others on social media?
I would say as far as the social media goes, I wouldn't say it's only social media. I would say really it's just comparison to anybody. You go into the gym and you see a guy squatting 4 plates and you're only doing 2, you're obviously going to feel some type of way about that. But I would say the number one tip I would give, at least something that's helped me, is just realizing that it doesn't matter what the next person is doing. It's always you versus you at the end of the day, because it's your own body and your own transformation. So as hard as it is to keep a level head through that, I would say the most important thing is to realize that it's you versus you at the end of the day.
Ladies and gentlemen, who am I here with?
Sonny.
And do you have body dysmorphia?
Yes, I do.
What do you think has caused your body dysmorphia?
I just saw Arnold talking about the pump, and I was like, he's just so satisfied. I gotta be like that.
Have you ever like looked at yourself in the mirror and like been unhappy with what you see?
Absolutely. Even when I looked like really shredded, sometimes I was like, damn, I'm like so vascular. This is disgusting, But yeah, just stuff like that. I'm like, shit, I've taken it too far. I'm a sick freak,
And so do you think social media aids in body dysmorphia? And if it does, what do you think is the best way for like beginner lifters to look at social media in the way where it doesn't like make them put down their own physiques?
You got to realize that a lot of people are editing their stuff, and a lot of people are also fake naturals as well. So, if you don't look good, put yourself through an AI filter that makes you look sick, and then, you're just like Andrew Eubank.
Ladies and gentlemen, who am I here with?
Devin.
And as a bodybuilder, do you have body dysmorphia?
Oh yeah, every day. Literally this morning I had body dysmorphia.
What do you think has caused your personal body dysmorphia?
I'd say what caused my body dysmorphia was probably just like always wanting to be the best I can be and never feeling like I'm good enough, I guess. So like, especially when you're bodybuilding, you're always looking at other people and then comparing your size to them, and then you think you're never big enough or never lean enough, and kind of escalates from there. So
have you ever like looked in the mirror and just been like sad about what you see?
oh yeah, it's just like, especially, so I finished the show like 2 months ago, and like pretty much every week since then, as you just after a show you're going to gain weight just naturally, and as you're recovering. So even every day, so being that lean, just every day you're kind of like, oh man, I'm getting fat or gaining all this weight, just don't feel like you look like you should. So kind of messes you up mentally.
What do you think is the best way to sort of look at social media in the body dysmorphia like paradigm? And what is the best way that you think we can prevent body dysmorphia for like regular lifters or bodybuilders?
Take everything that you see on social media with a grain of salt. All of it is a lot to do with like lighting, angles, and no one really looks like they do on social media. Even me, I have like, obviously I've taken pictures and videos as throughout prep, and I look back and like, man, I look phenomenal there. And obviously I look the same when I'm looking in the mirror, but I don't see it that way.
I'm here with
Max Taylor.
Have you ever dealt with body dysmorphia?
Yes, every day.
Ever looked in the mirror, like when you were on prep or, when you first started your journey and just been,
the worst.
and just been like sad about what you see?
Not necessarily sad, because I'm proud of how far I've came, with my physique, but I don't know. Is body dysmorphia considered me looking in the mirror and wanting more for my physique? Kind of been disappointed where I am sometimes. Maybe I'm like low on carbs, not hydrated enough. Like sometimes that happens. If that's considered body dysmorphia, yeah.
You have a huge following, and there's a lot of, just beginner lifters and just regular gym goers who look up to you and your page. Do you feel like social media and like the physiques that influencers present, like on social media with filters and, just great lighting and stuff like that, has increased the likelihood of like body dysmorphia in like the regular like gym goer?
Social media can definitely make anybody insecure even outside of body dysmorphia. It's everybody showing their best highlights of their lives.
What do you think, like through your fitness journey, what do you think was the main catalyst that caused your body dysmorphia personally?
Comparing yourself to others, it's so toxic. You can't do it. It's not even a good metric to go by for yourself.
How much did competitive bodybuilding aid in the body dysmorphia process for you?
It didn't help.
Yeah.
Like at the time, definitely.